Hello, Ian. How are
Hello,
you?
July. Good to
How
see you again.
good to see you too. It's just the two of us this week.
It is, yes. My son Daniel, he's gone back to school now.
Yeah,
Yep, for his final year of A levels,
amazing.
and he'll be
Yeah,
very glad when it's all over in 8 or 9 months, I think.
yeah. I bet he will miss when he has finished. I guess he's like, oh, I can't be bothered. It's too much and all this, and it's perhaps sitting through lessons and stuff isn't quite his cup of tea, perhaps. But I'm sure he will miss some aspects of it when it's all over, as you do with anything, right?
I think you're right. I think it's a bit of a romantic idea that
Mm.
oh, let's get through. Let's get through to next June, July, whenever it is they have their last exams,
Mm.
and it's all over. But then you got your mates around you. The teachers. It'll be quite an emotional thing to
Yeah.
leave school. I mean, I keep saying to him, you're at school the same as you was when when you were 5 years old. So, but yeah, he's
Mm.
grown up now. He's not that child that started at age 5 that came beaming out of the class at the end of the day, and I managed
Oh.
to take a picture of him. I'm still proud of that picture to this day, and it's
Oh.
encapsulated lots of positivity there on his
Mm.
first day of school. But
Yeah.
he's outgrown it, but he's now
Mm.
setting himself up for life. So yeah, one sometimes has to, commitment is commitment, and there's no getting away from that. We don't always want to do stuff, but
That's true, but then that's also the commitment to himself and his growth. I mean, as I said in the last few episodes when we had him here, that you must be extremely proud of what
absolutely,
he's become
yeah, yeah,
now and
definitely.
what he's becoming because of the awareness that he's got for himself and the growth he's already experiencing at just the mere age of 17. So that's amazing. Yeah.
It is amazing. It really
Mm,
is, and
yeah.
yeah, I'm absolutely bowled over by it. Really.
Yeah, yeah, you should be. I literally, my jaw dropped when he said some of the things he said in a few episodes back. And yeah, I'm absolutely, yeah, really in awe of him, how he's growing already. Very different to the child that I saw a couple of years ago at work, at
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Christmas party, as it were,
Yeah, I
But no,
remember. I
yeah.
remember. And it's yeah, that's right. He came along to that party to help me with playing the music that day, and
Yeah.
he was kind of just doing stuff with me. But yeah, it is. He has this he makes out he's not particularly interested in what you and I are doing here with this podcast, and I've said to him
Mm,
in the past you should listen to some of the stuff that Chulai and I are doing, and
yeah.
oh yeah, whatever, typical teenager, but secretly, deep down not wanting to show it, he's been
Mm.
interested, and as he did say himself, quite keen to join in, so it was a
Yeah.
real joy for him to actually join in with us, really,
No,
and
it's good. It was
share
a
some
really
of
good joy to have him here. And just for the benefit of our listeners, so the new format of our podcast, as far as we can see for the rest of the year at least, will be that Daniel will be joining us every third episode of each month.
Sure.
So September may be slightly different, but yeah, coming starting in October, he'll be here at every third episode, so he can just we can talk about slightly different subjects than we normally do and go a little deeper and just help him as
Yeah.
well as help you, our listeners, to grow and evolve spiritually a little bit more and go deeper into some of the personal development stuff. But starting today, we're going to be answering some of the questions our listeners have asked. And I decided that we would dedicate one question to each episode.
Right. Okay.
So
Brilliant.
today we are going to be answering a question that came to me. That was one of the first questions that I got asked. The specific question was, how do you work out what you want to do? Then how to go about doing it when money is an issue.
Oh, ouch. Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Why do you say
right.
that?
Good question.
Ouch.
Well, good question. Yeah, money. Oh, it just sends me into a spin. The word money. It's my definition of money is that too much is not enough. I've probably said that before on an earlier episode. So Where do you draw the line? Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting. I won't say no, we're not here to listen to my opinion about money. Let's
Yeah.
go with
Well,
this.
actually,
Let's go for the
interesting that
question.
you said that, but we will delve into that a little bit as well. But
Yeah.
I think it is very related to the question, and it is very related to what you're saying now. But let's start with the beginning of the questions. I mean, question. I think there's two bigger parts to the question, and three if you include the money part. So how do you find what you want to do? How do you work out what you want to do with yourself? Whether that you are 17, whether at an A-level student at a crossroads of your life at that point, whether you're at a quarter life crisis or whether you're in midlife crisis, there's always
That's a good
different.
expression. Quarter life. Yeah, that'll do for me.
Yeah, there is always a different point in our lives where we start to question who we are, what we want to do with ourselves, and is what we're doing really what we want to be doing for the rest of our lives and
Yeah,
all of that. And it's great to have those
it
questions.
is. It's good to be
And
challenging and asking.
yeah, and for the benefit of the listener today, the fact that you're asking this question, how do you work out what you want to do, means that you already know deep inside what you want to do.
Mm. Wow, that's a fascinating thing. We're going to explore this, I hope.
We are going to explore this, and it may not be obvious. The answer may not be staring you in the face right now. It may not come to you straight away, but answer is there. It's hidden there somewhere. And as we were speaking about it just a few minutes before we came online, was that the fact that you don't know what to do right now, what you want to do, means that you already are clear on what you don't want to do.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a good thing, is it?
Mm.
Because, yeah, you've got a blank piece of paper, you can probably fill it up with stuff that you don't want. And then
Yeah.
that, I mean, literally on a piece of paper if you want, or just, going through it in your mind and thinking.
Mm. I mean, this is the very same exercise I was doing towards the end of 2018, summer of 2018, actually. I remember sitting down at a lunch hour, literally typing out, what is it that I don't want anymore?
Mm.
Who do I not want to be surrounded by? What sort of people I want to surround myself with anymore? I don't want to surround myself with anymore, or what sort of conversations that I don't want to have anymore. And then the answer becomes obvious when you ask great questions, as we said many times before, the greater answers start to come. So what I would say to the listener, in order to work out what is it that you do want to do, first of all, start writing down or typing out what is it that you don't want to do.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want to work in an office anymore, for example. I don't want to be surrounded by whatever people anymore. I don't want to be in a toxic work environment. I don't want to be, surrounded by negative people. Whatever it might be, just obviously there are so many other iterations that you can put onto this. Just start writing them down. And as you literally write this exercise down, about 5 minutes into it, you're going to start to realize that you actually writing turns into, but actually I do want to do this. I do want to surround myself with people that are positive. I do want to be working in an office where I could just go for a walk, maybe 5 minutes every now and then. I want to be working in an environment where people are kind to each other, whatever it might be. Just start writing that. I want to be able to go for a walk when I want. I want to be able to impact people in a different way than I have done so far. So you'll see the switch in from I don't want to I do want. And
That's
when you,
brilliant. And I suppose you've got to try it, haven't you? You just got to sit down, because I think,
yeah,
really? Will that happen? Will that work? I
it
just,
works.
am I going to bother to actually get the pen and paper and do it? And yes, I must. We mustn't we?
Of course. I mean, you can not bother doing it if you
Yeah.
want to. That's your choice. But then if you do want to work out, if you really do
If
want
you
to
want the
work out,
answer, yeah.
if you want the answer, that is going to be the work that you need to do. I can't give you that answer because I don't know what the answer is.
Mm.
But I can facilitate the process of
Yes.
you finding that answer. And I can speak truly from my own experience. I have done that very exercise myself, knowing exactly what I did not want to do anymore, what I didn't want to surround myself with, what sort of experiences I didn't want to have anymore on a daily basis. Very clearly written it down. And the exercise became such a positive experience at the end that I literally written out exactly what I do want my days to look like, and who do I want to be surrounded by, and what is it that I want to be doing, what sort of impact I want to create in the world. This is just general stuff. It doesn't need to be detailed. It doesn't need to be specific, but it can be as, you know, clear and specific as you want it to be, but don't obviously get lost in the detail of, but I don't know how to do it. Don't get into I don't know how to do it, because that's what really stops us, isn't it? I don't know how to do that.
I
Well, if
think
you
so, because we don't have the whole picture in front. Yeah, so how's this going to work? All right, I'm listing all this stuff down, but honestly, how am I going to make this work? You
yeah.
know.
Well, if you already knew how to make it work, you would already be doing it.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of
Yes.
course. And so don't get into the how am I going to do this? Just focus on what is it that I want to be doing. I mean, let's give a tangible example, if that helps to our listener. I've always been someone described as a people person.
Yeah.
You know, very personable, very sense of humor. Well, of course, people might disagree. I often laugh at my own jokes, and
Yeah.
but even though I had a job that's very scientifically based, very detailed based, I always valued the conversations. I always valued getting to know people more. I valued being with people and connecting with people and really growing people in that way. And everybody I work with grew in themselves as a person, but also in their scientific area of expertise as a result of working with me, which kind of became a pattern over the past 10 years or so at the time of writing that document. And as I was listening more and more to these materials, you know, who do I want to listen to? Who do I want to learn from? I've actually come across some coaches and some people who have been talking about this stuff. What I also discovered that what really lights me up is to work with people and to see the change in people when I work with them. And that really gives me a great reward and great joy, not just when I'm doing it, but afterwards as well. And I'd also started to notice, having been in the job that I'd already been for, God knows, 17 years at that point, I had already started to get a little bit disheartened by the things that I was doing on a daily basis, not because I wasn't good at them, but because it wasn't challenging me anymore. And it was just becoming a little bit dry, if you like.
Can
And
I
it
throw
wasn't,
something in here, Chula, a minute? I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
waste the time of the
Sure,
person
no,
that's
no, of course
asked
not.
the question by going on to something irrelevant. But
No,
in my mind, it wasn't enabling you to be the person that you wanted to be.
true,
Is
absolutely.
that relevant? That's kind of what I'm hearing. It's
That
not so much
is,
about what you're doing, or rather, what you're doing isn't consistent with the person that you want to be and the way you want to feel about things. So
exactly, that was
is
true.
that
That is
relevant?
true.
Yeah.
And, you know, my overall driver within was to help people
Right.
and to then get that appreciation back. Of course, that was what's in it for me.
Yes.
But I mean, as human beings, we all want to be loved and appreciated and approved
Correct.
and feel good enough in ourselves, feel good in ourselves. But the job that I was doing wasn't doing that anymore. And if I wasn't feeling joy doing what I was doing, I wasn't going to make the impact that I wanted to make anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because what I was doing wasn't appreciated, wasn't valued, and therefore it became such that I started to not value myself as a result. And that's when the alarm bell was starting to ring.
Okay. Yeah.
And so this is what, not just for the listener who's asked this question, but everybody who's listening right now, that's when you really know it's time to move from the nail that you're sitting on. It's time to move, get out of that comfort zone that you feel comfortable, but it's no longer comfortable. So there's always going to be a trigger, a time, a cutoff point, if you like, where you really know that you must move. So this is the time to know it is time to change. The fact that you're asking the question means you already are in the process, and it's inevitable you are going to find what you're going to find.
Yeah.
So that's essentially, you are already in this process. So
Well, that's right. That's the start. That's an indication that the journey has begun. And
exactly. And
that's
when the journey begins, it is always going to go somewhere.
yes,
And
yes,
you
got
can
to,
either,
hasn't it? By definition, yeah,
exactly, even if you, so it is right now your choice
yeah.
to either accelerate this journey or to resist it and slow it down.
Okay.
Let's delve a little bit into this. You can resist it by not doing the exercise we just talked about. You can resist this by constantly giving into your fears, which I will delve into in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just literally just go and do the exercise and see where it takes you.
Yes, yeah,
And
and
the
not to have
main
any preconceived ideas that it won't take you anywhere, or it has to be 100% clear at the end.
or go into the fear of what if it doesn't work out. One of the main reasons why people don't do this very exercise is because they're already 5,000 steps ahead and thinking, what if it doesn't work out? If it doesn't work out, that means I'm going to lose my friends. That means my family is not going to love me. I'm going to lose my job. Whatever else the catastrophic thinking brings you, just because something is uncertain, just because it is outside of that comfort and safety zone that we are so used to being, and our brain is designed to keep us in. And that's all it is.
Well, yeah,
And
yeah,
of course, it is a big thing to have a career change or change in life and whatever purpose. But also, you can look at it from the premise that this is already written for you. This is part of your journey that's already been determined. You're just now at a stage where you are able to receive that part of your journey.
So it's kind of right for you, and you're just now kind of ready to take a
Exactly.
step. I mean, yeah, I've been through it. I've changed roles in my my professional job, staying within the same company and changing roles, even going from an office job to a shop floor job and riding around on a forklift truck, which is something that I never thought I'd have the opportunity to do. And I use that word very carefully, that I'd have the opportunity. They'd say, well, what person who's working in an office as a manager would ever want to go and drive a forklift truck? Well, that's the kind of thinking that you have to break out of if you want
Yeah.
to find more discovery. And it was brilliant. I mean, it's not about me going into a personal experience for the next 5 minutes, but I can just verify from what we're talking about that was an enriching experience, not a demeaning
Yeah.
experience.
And the reason why it may be perceived as a demeaning experience is because of the preconceived ideas that we all have about people who sit in an office versus people who drive forklift truck. And even though they all have their roles to play in the whole chain of events, chain of the life cycle,
Yeah.
if you took one of those people out of the job that they are in, everything falls apart. And
Yes.
then you will only now realize how important they were, whilst we still put more importance onto the person who is in the office versus the
Yes.
person who is driving the forklift truck.
Yes.
Again, yes, let's not deviate necessarily, but that's a preconceived idea that is not necessarily
Yeah.
true.
So we're just on about challenging preconceived ideas,
Yeah,
challenging beliefs that are unhelpful to us
yeah,
to get this journey going.
exactly. So just to recap the first part of the question, write down what is it that you don't want, and you will find that you start to write what is it that you do want. And the reason why we wouldn't admit what is it that we do want is, like I said, because of these fears and the preconceived ideas and the fear of failure, fear of success. If I'm too successful, then my friends will leave me, whatever else that is going on. And you can actually write down, become aware of what is it that you're really fearful of. And it'll be obvious to you when you come to the place where you know who you want to be surrounded by and what sort of experiences you want to have and what your day looks like and whatever, without any limitations. Then it will be obvious to you what is it that you do want. And of course, it will help, having done the second part of the exercise, write down what skills you have. What can you bring to this world? What can you offer to this world? And which one of those things light you up? How do
But
you
I haven't
feel
got
about
any.
them?
I haven't got any gifts. I haven't got any skills. What am I going to write?
Ian, come on.
I'm just thinking, maybe somebody listening is thinking that, that could be real. So yeah,
Yeah.
come on, everybody has got something to bring.
Yeah.
Is the
I mean,
important
yeah, we
point.
spoke about this before. Why do you matter? The fact that you're here means you're already worthy.
Yeah,
And what is it that you can bring to this world that somebody else can't bring? You know,
absolutely. Yeah, there's no
and what is
excuse here.
exactly, and what is it that you can bring that also you already gained as skills, but your energy, your being as you as a person is going to bring something else to that. And plus all of your experiences as a person is going to mean something, and that's going to add to the skills that you're going to bring to this world. So just write down those skills and those experiences, and then find out which one of those you really feel in your heart that you feel happy about, which one of those you connect with the most. Then you will pin down exactly what you want to do. And if you're just even for a moment have this let go of the fear of anything, let go of the attachment to any outcome, what would that be? Then choose it.
Yeah,
Here
it's
it is. That's the recipe of finding what you want to do with life, in life.
it is doable to overcome fears. It was like me before I was, I had to do a test on the forklift and,
Mm,
practice and have, driving lessons almost for it. But you also are made very aware of the dangers of not doing things safely and correctly.
mm,
And I'm not going to go into the details because it is pretty horrific, but you actually watch some like real life videos of where things
mm.
have gone wrong,
Oh,
and it's not very nice. And then at the end of that, I say, "You still want to do it?" And you give them a big smile and say, "Yeah, of course I do. Let's go and get on with it." And
mm-hmm,
you think you have to just put that fear, that negativity out of your mind. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it safely. I'm not going to have any disasters.
mm-hmm.
It's just another fear. It's just, what the whole point is what you're saying, overcoming the fear or not letting the fear overwhelm you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
And
so important.
again, reminding ourselves at this point, our very motto that what you focus on grows within you. You can choose to
Right.
focus on the fear and stay where you are and slow down the process, or choose to focus on what is it that you want and finding that and going for it. There's nothing you can lose by exploring that. So let's go to the second part of the question,
Yeah.
and that was how do you go about then starting when money is an issue? Well, let's just change our words first of all. Money isn't an issue. Money the lack of money may be an issue,
Right. Okay. Got you. Yeah.
but money itself isn't the issue.
Yeah.
Money is a tool that each of us can use for the good of the world, for our own good, right?
It's a good point. I'd never really thought of that in
Yeah,
that way.
money,
But yeah.
we most people think money is evil.
Mm.
Money isn't evil. If it was evil, we wouldn't be chasing it like
Yeah.
anything. And the fact that we're chasing it means it's running away from us. That's a whole different conversation. But money, and some of the money coaches will tell you, money is energy. If you had your best friend and you called her or him, you're an issue. You're never there when I need it. Um, you know, whatever, something along these lines, it will always run away from you. It will be as far away from you as you can possibly imagine. So think of money like that. Instead of saying you're a big issue and you're not there when I need it, just say, well, actually, you know what? I love money. There's so much I can do with it.
Mm.
And I welcome as much of it in my life as I possibly can, because the more I have, the more I can give.
Yes. Yeah.
People have the misconception the more I have, the more greedy I will be perceived.
Mm.
Therefore, I will lose my friends. Again, yet another
Yeah.
subconscious fear that we've learned from other people, from the math society, which is also untrue.
I think you're right, Chulai, and it's not to do with volume. We all think, how much money do you want? Well, in reality, probably just a little bit more. Everybody can
Mm,
say, well, £10 billion, thank you very
yeah.
much. But that's just the thoughtless, I just want lots of money. I wish, money grew on
Mm,
trees and I owned all the trees in the world type thing. That's, that's
mm,
just nonsense. You're just missing the point there. You can do a lot of damage with a little money, or you could do a lot of good with a lot of money, or vice versa, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
So
exactly. It's so yeah, those evil and good and money are not, they are different things entirely. So
it's a
they should
tool,
not be,
isn't it?
they should not be associated in any way, shape, or form. And that's
Yeah,
the kind of beliefs that we've all grew up with, which is
yeah,
wrong. But okay, so yeah, obviously the question wasn't really about money, but I
no,
want to address that money isn't the issue. Why
yes,
don't we switch the thinking and says, well, you know, I want to create more money in the world because I want to create more good in the world. And therefore, how do I still go about doing what I want to do and bring money into my life as a result by doing that? That's really the question. And what I suggest to this person is that first work out what is it that you do want to do. And I have a feeling that you already know because of the second part of the question. Then start that already. Whilst you're still in a paid job, if you are, start experimenting, start doing that, because nothing is going to stop you unless it is a conflict of interest with the work that you're doing right now. There's nothing and no one can stop you doing what you want to do and earning money as a result. And I don't even want to say earning, because it's not about earning, it's about attracting and just having the reward, receiving the exchange of the service that you're putting out there. So
yes,
start doing that in some way. First, start with helping people. That's how I started when I started my business. Before even it became a business, I've learned to become a life coach. I trained as a life coach, and I was coaching anyone and everyone that came in my way, literally, for half an hour at a time, on a coffee break, on a walk, on a whatever. And we would choose a specific topic, and I would coach them on that.
yeah,
And that's how I trained myself and gained the experience. They didn't pay me for it, but they gave me testimonials. They gave me the reassurance that, and everyone else, the reassurance that I was really good at what I was doing. And that gave me the confidence to go and start my business and start helping people
it,
whilst I was still working.
it grows, doesn't it? A bit of experience, bit of confidence, bit of good feedback, bit of encouragement,
Yeah,
and yeah, I'm on the right road here. Yes, I'm getting the reward that I want, and yes, I'm
yeah,
being the person I want, and this is good.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's the only thing I can say. And if you shift the thinking from money is an issue, money is not an issue. Money is actually going to come to you so easily when you let go of this big garden block that you have, when you let go of the reins and wanting to control every single step of this process. Let go of the how. Just start with
yeah,
what is it that you want to do? Who do you want to help? How do you want to help them? And start helping them. Don't wait for something else to happen. I will do it when. The when is never going to come. There is no tomorrow.
yeah,
Nobody's guaranteed a tomorrow. Do it now.
yeah,
Do it
yeah.
at this present moment. Start it now
At
and
some
start
point, you've got to do it now. So why not now? Now.
exactly, exactly, and that is the answer to this question. Start it now. You're never going to know the answer by sitting on the sidelines. I'm not going to be able to give you the answer because I don't know the answer. I only know what my experience is, what I learned from my coaches, and the only way you're going to know is to go and dip your toes in it, because sitting on the sidelines, I can say so many things. Other people can say so many things. Other people will say, no, don't even bother. Don't even start because you're going to fail and whatever. But it doesn't matter what other people say. What matters is how you feel. What matters is what is it that you want to do, and how much longer are you going to be able to cope with not doing what you want to do in life? You know,
Fantastic. Yes.
you
Yeah.
know that it's you have got to determine at some point what is more important to you, to please other people because they won't support you, or to please yourself and just go and do what you want to do. There is only one life,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. That's an
That's
inverted comma. But
that's
yeah,
right. Oh well, that's another debate and that's another level. But we're
yeah,
just
yeah.
looking at we're looking at today, the
Yes,
current
the
world.
3D life that we live in right now, there's
That's
only one
right.
of it that we get to have, and let's just make the most of it. And So hopefully this answered your question, the listener, and I would love to hear what you think and what your thoughts, what else came up for you when you listened to this. And the same with all the listeners. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's many of you who are in this exact same situation, and I would love to hear from you. Ian and I would love to continue this conversation yet in another podcast episode, maybe when Daniel comes in as well, but
Yeah.
because he's in that stage himself. So
Yeah.
let's just keep the conversation going. But for this week, this was the question and we've answered it. Hopefully, this will give you some guidance to go forwards.
And I just want to say one thing, Chulo, when we're encouraging people to come forward with questions, please do, because just bear in mind that your question might help somebody else as well. We're talking about, Chulo's talked about how she just desired to help people, and that's a great thing for anyone to do. Chulo's taken it to a greater degree, and that's who she is. But what all I'm saying for this episode is your question will help you, we hope, and it will certainly probably help somebody else as well.
Absolutely.
It could help
And
a
we
lot
know.
more people, and that's well worth doing that, isn't it? Surely.
Absolutely. And also the fact that you ask a question, and I'm sure so many other people will say, oh, that was my question. It goes to show that you're not alone. Everybody
Yes.
then gets to know I'm not alone in thinking this. And
Yeah.
we just have this bigger impact, bigger
Positive
impact
impact.
altogether coming through. And it will help so many people today.
Now, I haven't been watching the clock today, Chulai,
Neither have I, to
because
be
I'm not in
honest.
my usual place. I don't have the clock in front of me, but I'm guessing we're out of time
I
now.
think we
I'm
are a little
relying
bit
on
out
you
of
for the
time,
time today.
but I think this was important to cover to answer this question. And next week we will be answering another question, and we will be looking forward to speaking. And let me just, say what the question we will be answering.
Very good. Yeah. Okay. So as Chulai mentioned earlier, we're moving into this time of really trying to field real questions from real people. We've done over 100 episodes now, and we just want to try and change the focus, target it a little bit, and involve you with the questions. So do we know what we're doing next week then?
Yes,
Chulai?
next week's question is how or if I will be able to manage and cope with high pressure job upon return from maternity leave, basically. So this is
All
again
right.
a very common question, something that I've experienced in the past several times, twice to be honest, to be precise. And yes, it is a very very common problem, and I have so much to say about that. But looking forward to next week, and until next time, have a great day.
Thank you. Bye now.